Okay, here's the unboxing. The box took a beating, but this is what it ships in. And that's everything that was in the box. Here's the mechanism of how to release these legs for the base. You can't really see this well, but the way that this is held in is with a spring. And that spring puts it back, and it just doesn't look like a very secure way to hold a lot of weight for the long term. I'm always wary about spring loads. And then each of these poles are screwed on like this. Here is what the AMBITFUL stand looks like, fully assembled. I don't even have the third pole extension on here, otherwise it wouldn't even reach, I mean, it would touch my roof. So it goes pretty high. And on the top here is a 1/4 so you can screw something in up here. And then here are the little grip clamps where you squeeze this trigger and then you can move it up and down. And here are the pins that came with it. You can flip this around. So this is a 3/8, and then if you flip it around on this one, I flipped it around, and that's a 1/4. It also comes with this little tightener here. The 3/8, it's longer than the 1/4, so you just gotta keep that in mind when you insert this in. And then the little tightener here can go on either side. So it is a little flimsy on the base here. And then also when you're turning this whole rig around, because where it's tightened, it's not fully, there's nothing really to lock it tight, super tight in place. So depending on when you're moving this all the way around, and if you have a lot of weight on it, you might unloosen the little rigs here. See, like this, it's already coming a little loose. So you have to be aware of that. Otherwise, it's fairly stable once it's set up and quite light for this size. I think I might have to weigh it down somehow when I'm putting a lot of gear up there. The wheels are fine. They're not the best, but it's decent quality. And this is a longer base than I think a lot of other C-stand with wheels are like. And just as an example, here is a C-stand with wheels that I've been using for a long time now. This one's from Impact, and then I think other manufacturers make something similar. You can see the wheelbase isn't as wide. And here I just have some clamps rather than this one slides up and down. It goes up and down the center column. This one is just a regular grip clamp. Grip that in there. Have a little extension. They're almost the same length. And this one's not moving. If you want to rotate it, you got to undo the clamp, and then you can move it up and down or all the way around. And here I have two of them. And this was more expensive. This whole stand plus these two clamps were combined more expensive than this AMBITFUL that comes all in one. This also came with a bag that you can take all this apart, put that in the bag, so there's that advantage. So this one right here came inside the whole kit, and then they included this one in a special package that I chose. You can get different options, and I chose one with this extra bag, and that extra bag is pretty good. So here's the one that it comes with, and it's decent, you know, for what the cost of the whole stand, and it's more compact. But look at this one. This one's really cool. So now what I'm gonna do is attach some accessories here and a camera and show you what I'm hoping to use this rig for. This is what my tethering would look like. Just imagine a tethering cable coming from that camera into the computer here. This doesn't look that stable, but this was the only way I could mount it. I want it to come off to the side, but this was not long enough to accommodate the length of this 16-inch MacBook Pro. So I had to put it like this or put it the other way, which would prevent me from getting into the camera area. This is not weighed down. I would weigh this down, but I am worried about using this this configuration. And then here's the camera setup. Have it on a ball mount on this arm that I can go up and down with. And then I have this locked in a portrait style. So what I would do is I would hold the camera, take pictures of my portrait models right there, and then this would be tethered into the computer, and I would see the images I tether with Capture One. This is my first iteration of this, so I'm just trying things out, what it would look like. This doesn't feel safe to me, but this was just my first attempt. And then I still have up top there, what I plan on doing is putting one of the strobes up here with a softbox pointing down. And then I was hoping I might get another one of these arms, and I'll see if they offer something that's much longer so I can put the laptop all the way off to this side. And then right here, I'll put a light all the way down looking up to get a clamshell portrait. So one on the top, a flash on the bottom, or maybe a reflector. And that way I could just put everything on this one stand and it'll hopefully all fit. I really don't like the length here, that it's this long. Maybe I can find another stud there that could replace that. That'll be much closer to the bar here. You can laugh at this setup too if you want. This is just, again, my first attempt at what it could look like when I'm doing portraits. I have the camera and computer off, and I'm just comparing the impact with these two Manfrotto clamps. They look the same kind of setup. This was more expensive, but I could do the same thing with this that I can with this. And although I don't have that quick mounting flexibility of just hitting this and going up and down, sometimes when you set up the camera, you don't want to do that. This pistol grip setup is really only useful if you're constantly adjusting going up and down with the rig. Otherwise, if you're at a level that you just want to lock it in, this clamp might be better and safer, more reliable than this. Even if I had a different brand than AMBITFUL, I'm sure I've seen other companies have the same design that costs a lot more, but do I really need something like this? And I could get more of these grips here and stack several of them on this pole to have a lot of flexibility, but why would you want to be constantly moving like that? So I gotta now consider, if I already have this, would I bring this? This one weighs a little bit more, even though it's got a smaller base, and it looks like it weighs less than this, but this is pretty light. So I can travel with this on an airplane and put it all in its own bag and then wrap it up in t-shirts or some foam or something to protect the center column. And this, although it looks smaller, it weighs a little bit more. Interesting different setups that I don't see other photographers using, and maybe there's a reason for that, because it probably doesn't work.